Look at the culture we live in today. We are addicted to the microwave mentality. We want instant wealth, instant health, and instant success. We buy lottery tickets, we search for the perfect 6 minute of workout, and we chase viral internet fame. We have been brainwashed to believe that success is the result of a massive, heroic, quantum leap. Darren Hardy, the former publisher of Success magazine, has interviewed the most successful CEOs, athletes, and billionaires on the planet. And he is here to tell you a brutal, unsexy truth. There is no magic pill. There is no secret elevator to the top. The only way up is to take the stairs, one agonizing, boring step at a time. Welcome to the Book Vault, the essence of every book. The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. Success is not a dramatic explosion. Success is the mundane, invisible process of making tiny, smart choices, repeating them consistently, and letting time do the heavy lifting. The compound effect is always working. It is either working for you, elevating you to unimaginable heights, or it is working against you, pulling you down into a life of misery and regret. Chapter 1: The Compound Effect in Action. If you want to understand the entire philosophy of this book, you only need to answer one question. If I offered you a choice between taking $3 million in cold, hard cash right now, or taking a single penny that doubles in value every day for 31 days, which would you choose? If you are like 99% of people, you take the $3 million. You want the instant payoff. But let us watch the math play out. You take the $3 million. Your friend takes the doubling penny. On day 5, your friend has 16 cents. You have $3 million. You feel like a genius. On day 10, your friend has $5.12. You are buying sports cars and laughing at them. On day 20, your friend has $5,242. They have been working, waiting, and sacrificing for almost 3 weeks, and they barely have $5,000. This is the exact moment where the average person quits. They say, "This isn't working. The results are too slow." But your friend does not quit. They understand the compound effect. On day 29, the penny has compounded to $2.7 million. On day 30, it hits $5.3 million. And on day 31, your friend's doubling penny becomes $10,737,418. Your friend is more than 3 times richer than you. This is the essence of the compound effect. Hardy defines the formula as small, smart choices plus consistency plus time equals radical difference. The greatest challenge of the compound effect is that the results are completely invisible in the beginning. If you eat a massive, greasy cheeseburger today, you do not instantly wake up 50 pounds overweight tomorrow. If you skip reading your business book today, your company does not instantly go bankrupt tomorrow. Because there is no instant negative feedback, you think you are getting away with it. To illustrate this, Hardy tells the story of 3 friends who all live in the same neighborhood, make the same salary, and weigh the same amount. Larry changes nothing. He keeps living his normal, average life. Scott starts making tiny, positive choices. He cuts out 125 calories a day, just skipping 1 soda, and he reads 10 pages of a self-development book every night. Brad starts making tiny, negative choices. He buys a bigger TV, and he adds 1 beer to his nightly routine, adding about 125 calories a day. For the first 6 months, if you look at the 3 friends, there is zero visible difference. At month 18, you can barely see a slight shift. But at month 27, the compound effect hits the mathematical curve. The results explode. Brad, who added 1 beer, has gained 33.5 pounds. He is sluggish, depressed, and performing terribly at work. Larry is exactly where he was 27 months ago, except he is bitter that nothing has changed. Scott, who cut 125 calories and read 10 pages a day, has lost 33.5 pounds. By reading just 10 pages a day, he has consumed the equivalent of 47 massive books on business and psychology. He has been promoted. His marriage is thriving. Scott didn't do anything heroic. He didn't go to a boot camp. He just harnessed the magic penny. Chapter 2, Choices. The magic penny is driven entirely by one thing: your choices. Everything in your life exists because you first made a choice about something. But humans hate taking responsibility for their bad choices. We love to play the victim. We blame the government, we blame our genetics, we blame the traffic, and we blame our spouses. As long as you are pointing the finger at someone else, you are giving away your power to change the situation. Darren Hardy introduces a concept that will completely revolutionize your life, if you are brave enough to accept it. It is called the 100% responsibility clause. Hardy tells a story about being at a seminar where a speaker asked the audience, "What percentage of shared responsibility makes a relationship successful?" People yelled out, 50-50. Others said, 80-20. You have to compromise. The speaker shook his head. He said, "A relationship only works if you are willing to take 100% responsibility for making it work, and expect 0% in return. If you are waiting for the other person to meet you halfway, you will spend your entire life disappointed." Hardy realized this applies to everything. You are 100% responsible for your bank account. You are 100% responsible for your physical body. You are 100% responsible for your career. Even if a drunk driver hits your car, you are 100% responsible for how you react to the accident, how you handle the insurance, and how you choose to recover. When you take 100% responsibility, you eliminate the victim mentality. You become the absolute dictator of your own destiny. Taking responsibility is great in theory, but how do you do it in practice? Most of our destructive choices are made completely unconsciously. You don't consciously decide to eat an entire bag of chips, you just eat them while staring at the television. You don't consciously decide to waste 2 hours on your phone, you just start scrolling. To take control of your choices, you must drag them out of the darkness of your subconscious and into the bright light of awareness. You do this through tracking. If you want to lose weight, you do not need a fancy diet. Starting today, you must carry a small notebook in your pocket, and you must write down every single morsel of food that enters your mouth. If you want to get out of debt, you must write down every single penny you spend. Every cup of coffee, every subscription, every pack of gum. Chapter 3, Habits, the Power of Why. You have taken 100% responsibility. You are tracking your choices. Now, you must turn those smart choices into habits. A habit is simply an acquired mode of behavior that has become nearly or completely involuntary. You brush your teeth without thinking about it. You tie your shoes without thinking about it. If you want to be wealthy, you must make saving money and reading books as involuntary as brushing your teeth. But breaking old, bad habits and building new, good habits is incredibly painful. When people try to start a new habit, like waking up at 5 a.m. to go to the gym, what do they rely on? They rely on willpower. They grit their teeth, set their alarm, and force themselves out of bed. Darren Hardy warns you, willpower is a finite resource. Willpower is like the battery on your cell phone. Every time you use it to resist eating a donut, or to force yourself to make a cold call, the battery drains. By 5 p.m., your willpower battery is at 1%. You are exhausted, and you collapse onto the couch. If you rely on willpower, you will always eventually fail. To sustain a habit over the long term, you do not need willpower. You need why power. To explain why power, Hardy uses a brilliant analogy. Imagine there is a wooden plank, 10 inches wide and 30 feet long, resting on the ground. Hardy says, "I will give you $20 if you walk across this plank." You would do it easily. It's on the ground. It requires no effort. Now, imagine taking that exact same wooden plank, and placing it suspended between two 100-story skyscrapers. Hardy says, I will give you $20 to walk across the plank now. You would look at him like he is crazy. You would say, absolutely not. The risk of falling to my death is not worth $20. Your willpower is not strong enough to make you walk across the plank. But now, imagine that you are standing on one skyscraper, and your child is on the roof of the other skyscraper. The other skyscraper is on fire. The flames are surrounding your child. The only way to save them is to walk across that 10-inch wooden plank. Would you walk across it? You wouldn't even hesitate. You wouldn't ask for $20. Chapter 4, The Big MO. Darren Hardy calls it the Big MO. Momentum. If you look at highly successful people, the billionaires, the elite athletes, the massive influencers, it seems like everything they touch turns to gold. They make success look completely effortless. Are they smarter than you? No. Do they work harder than you? Not necessarily. They have simply captured the big MO. Momentum is a multiplier. When you have momentum, every single action you take yields 10 times the results. When a train is sitting still, you can stop it from moving by placing a single, tiny wooden block in front of the wheel. But when that train has momentum, when it is traveling at 80 miles per hour, it can crash through a 5-foot thick wall of reinforced steel without even slowing down. Your goal in life is not just to work hard. Your goal is to build a train traveling at 80 miles per hour. To understand how to capture the big MO, Hardy uses the greatest analogy in the entire book, the hand pump well. Imagine you are standing in a desert, dying of thirst. You find an old iron water pump. The water table is buried 20 feet underground. To get the water, you have to pump the heavy iron lever. You push it down, and pull it up. You push it down, and pull it up. You pump for 5 minutes. Your arms are burning. You are sweating. You look at the spout. Nothing. Not a single drop of water. This is the exact moment where the average person quits. They say, this pump is broken. The compound effect is a scam. I've been working out for 2 weeks and I haven't lost a single pound. I've been making cold calls for a month and I haven't closed a deal. But what the average person doesn't understand is the physics of the pump. The water is moving. With every pump, the suction is pulling the water up the pipe. It is currently 10 feet underground. You just can't see it yet. If you stop pumping, even for a few seconds to take a break, the vacuum breaks. All the water that you pulled up the pipe crashes all the way back down to the bottom. If you start pumping again, you have to start from zero. But the master of the compound effect does not quit. They know the water is coming. They keep pumping. They push through the pain. Suddenly, after 20 minutes of agonizing, invisible work, a drop of water appears. Then a trickle. And then, a massive, explosive, steady stream of water pours out of the spout. You have captured the big MO. And here is the absolute magic of momentum. Once the water is flowing, do you still have to pump the lever with maximum, agonizing force? No. To keep the water flowing, all you have to do is tap the lever gently with one finger. A tiny, effortless motion sustains the massive flow of water. Starting a new habit takes a massive amount of energy. You will see absolutely no results in the beginning. The scale won't move. The bank account won't grow. Do not stop pumping. If you stop, if you go on a diet for a month, and then take a week off because you didn't see results, the water crashes back to the bottom. You lose all your invisible progress. This is why people spend their entire lives starting and stopping, burning maximum energy, but never tasting the water. Keep pumping until the big MO kicks in. Once momentum arrives, success becomes a habit, and maintaining it becomes practically effortless. Chapter 5, Bookending. You know you cannot stop pumping. You must be consistent. But how do you stay consistent when your daily life is absolute chaos? You wake up with a plan to go to the gym, but your child gets sick. You plan to read a book at work, but your boss drops an emergency project on your desk. Darren Hardy offers a bulletproof solution: you cannot control the middle of your day. But you have absolute control over the bookends. The bookends are your morning routine and your evening routine. If you lock down the first 60 minutes of your day, and the last 60 minutes of your day, you will mathematically guarantee your success, regardless of what disasters happen in the middle. Narrator: the morning bookend, winning the launch. How do average people start their day? The alarm goes off. They hit snooze 3 times. They groggily reach for their phone. They open social media and instantly compare themselves to billionaires and models. They open the news and read about war and economic collapse. Within 5 minutes of waking up, they have programmed their brain with anxiety, depression, and reactivity. Their day is ruined before they even get out of bed. The masters of the compound effect fiercely protect their morning bookend. Hardy recommends a rigid, hyper-focused morning routine to set the trajectory of the day. 1. Wake up, no snooze. When the alarm goes off, your feet hit the floor immediately. Do not negotiate with weakness. 2. Review the vision. Spend the first 10 minutes reviewing your massive goals and your why power. Remind your brain exactly what you are hunting for. 3. Feed the mind. Do not look at the news or social media. Read 10 pages of a high-level book, or listen to a book summary audio. Program your brain with solutions, not problems. 4. Identify the MVP. Determine your most valuable priorities. If you could only accomplish 3 things today to move closer to your massive goal, what would they be? Write them down. When you execute this morning routine, you build a fortress around your mind. You are not reacting to the world, you are dictating the terms of your existence. The day is over. The chaos has passed. How do average people end their day? They collapse on the couch, drink a beer, watch 3 hours of mindless television, and fall asleep with the blue light of a screen blasting their retinas. To maintain the big MO, you must use the evening bookend to audit your performance. 1. The review. Look at the MVP list you wrote in the morning. Did you accomplish the 3 tasks? If yes, celebrate. If no, why not? Conduct a brutal, honest autopsy of your day. 2. The tracking. Pull out your pocket notebook. Track your habits. Log the food you ate, the money you spent, and the calls you made. 3. The disconnect. Turn off all screens an hour before bed. Your subconscious mind processes the last thing you saw before sleep for the next 8 hours. If you fall asleep watching a violent movie, your brain is processing violence. Read a book. Plan the next day. Go to sleep with a clear mind. The tactic: you are the architect of your life. Build the bookends. When you win the first hour, and you audit the final hour, you create a cage of discipline around the chaos of life. The routines become automatic. The water pump never stops moving. Chapter 6: The Rhythm of Success, Consistency, Intensity. When people discover the compound effect, they get incredibly excited. They feel a massive surge of motivation. They say, "I'm going to change my life. Starting tomorrow, I am going to the gym for 2 hours every day. I am going to stop eating all carbs. I am going to make 100 cold calls a day." Darren Hardy watches these people and shakes his head. He knows they are going to fail. They are making the most common, fatal mistake of habit building. They are confusing intensity with consistency. If you go to the gym for 2 hours and destroy your body, you will feel incredibly proud of yourself. You gave 100% intensity. But the next morning, you are in agonizing pain. You are exhausted. Your brain says, "I cannot possibly do that again today." So you skip a day. Then you skip 2 days. Within a week, you have quit the gym entirely. Intensity is a trap. Intensity causes burnout. And burnout forces you to stop pumping the well. The water crashes to the bottom. Hardy introduces the concept of rhythm. Your brain hates unpredictability. It loves steady, reliable rhythms. If you want to build a habit that lasts for the rest of your life, you must find a sustainable cadence. Instead of going to the gym for 2 hours every day and quitting in a week, you make a different commitment. You commit to going to the gym for exactly 30 minutes, 3 days a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Is 30 minutes heroic? No. Is it intense? No. But it is completely sustainable. You build a rhythm. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It becomes a heartbeat. You don't have to use willpower anymore, because when Wednesday arrives, you just go to the gym automatically. Narrator, The Tortoise and the Hare. This is the ancient fable of the tortoise and the hare, applied to modern corporate success. The hare relies on bursts of massive intensity. He runs as fast as he can, gets exhausted, and takes a nap. The tortoise relies on relentless, boring rhythm. He takes one slow step at a time. He never speeds up, but he never, ever stops. Over a 1-week period, the hare will beat the tortoise. The intense person will lose more weight in the first 7 days than the consistent person. But the compound effect does not measure weeks. It measures decades. After 1 year, the hare has completely burned out and rebounded back to his original weight. The tortoise is still walking. He has built a multi-million-dollar business, a bulletproof physique, and an unbreakable marriage. Chapter 7, Influences, Garbage In, Garbage Out. Your brain is the most powerful supercomputer in the universe. But like any computer, it operates on a very simple, undeniable law of programming: garbage in, garbage out. If you want your body to run at peak performance, you cannot feed it junk food. If you want your brain to produce massive wealth, brilliant ideas, and profound happiness, you cannot feed it junk information. Most people are incredibly careful about what they put into their mouths, but they are completely reckless about what they put into their minds. When you wake up and instantly turn on the news, what are you consuming? Murder, economic collapse, political outrage, and fear. When you open social media, what are you consuming? Mindless entertainment, gossip, and the highlight reels of strangers that make you feel inadequate. Your brain absorbs this toxic ink. It processes the fear and the mediocrity, and it outputs anxiety, procrastination, and a victim mentality. You must put your brain on a strict information diet. Hardy demands a media fast. Stop watching the news. It is designed to hijack your amygdala. Instead, use your commute to listen to educational audio. Read books on psychology and business. Feed your brain with solutions, strategies, and the stories of successful people. When you change the input, the output changes automatically. But the information you consume is only half the battle. The greatest influence on your life is walking, talking, and breathing right next to you. Dr. David McClelland of Harvard University found that the people you habitually associate with determine as much as 95% of your success or failure in life. Jim Rohn famously said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." Look at your life right now. If you are a postgraduate management student stepping into the corporate world, aiming to become an elite finance manager, look at the 5 people closest to you. Are they complaining about the economy, gossiping about coworkers, and waiting for the weekend? Or are they discussing advanced corporate taxation, reading about business analytics, and pushing themselves to excel? If you are surrounded by people who are lazy, their gravity will pull you down. You cannot fly with the eagles if you are scratching in the dirt with the turkeys. To protect your compound effect, you must conduct a ruthless audit of your relationships. Hardy categorizes them into 3 groups. 1. Disassociations. These are the toxic, negative people who drag you down. They mock your ambitions and drain your energy. You must make the brutal, difficult choice to cut them out of your life entirely. Your future depends on it. 2. Limited associations. These are people you enjoy, but who do not elevate you. Maybe it's a childhood friend or a neighbor. You do not cut them out, but you limit your exposure. You spend 3 hours with them a month, not 3 hours a day. 3. Expanded associations. These are the people who are smarter, wealthier, and more disciplined than you. They intimidate you slightly because their standard of excellence makes you realize you need to work harder. You must actively seek these people out. Take them to lunch. Join their masterminds. Let their high standards pull you up. Your associations are an escalator. They are either taking you up, or they are taking you down. You cannot stand still. Chapter 8, The Environment, Clearing the Friction. You have cleared your mind of toxic information. You have cleared your life of toxic people. Now, you must clear your physical space. Your environment matters because your environment creates friction. And friction destroys momentum. If you want to lose weight, but you keep a jar of cookies on your kitchen counter, you are relying on willpower to resist the cookies every single time you walk into the kitchen. As we learned in part 1, willpower always fails. Eventually, you will eat the cookies. You must design your environment so that the default decision is the correct decision. If there is no junk food in your house, you cannot eat it. If your goal is to read before bed, place the book directly on your pillow in the morning, and leave your phone charger in the kitchen. When you get into bed, the environment dictates that you must pick up the book. Hardy introduces a profound concept called tolerations. What are you currently tolerating in your life? Are you tolerating a squeaky door in your house? Are you tolerating a disorganized computer desktop filled with thousands of messy files? Are you tolerating a car that is filled with trash? Every single time you look at that clutter, it drains a microscopic amount of your psychological energy. It sends a subconscious signal to your brain that you accept mediocrity. You must eliminate the tolerations. Clean your workspace. Organize your files. Fix the broken drawer. When you operate in an environment of absolute, pristine order, your mind is free to focus 100% of its energy on massive execution. Excellence is not an act, it is a standard. And that standard begins with the cleanliness of the room you are sitting in right now. Chapter 9, The Point of Acceleration. We now arrive at the ultimate secret of the compound effect. You are tracking your habits. You have your morning routine. You have optimized your influences and your environment. You are doing the daily work. But if you only do exactly what is expected of you, you will only get average results. If you want extraordinary, life-changing wealth and success, you must understand the point of acceleration. Narrator, the moment of truth. Legendary boxer Muhammad Ali was once asked how many sit-ups he does. He replied, "I don't count my sit-ups. I only start counting when it starts hurting. When I feel pain, that's when I start counting, because that's when it really counts." This is the absolute essence of acceleration. When you go to the gym and plan to do 10 repetitions, the first 9 reps are just a warm-up. They are just getting you to the starting line. When you hit rep number 10, your muscles burn. Your brain screams at you to stop. You have hit the wall. What you do in that exact millisecond determines your destiny. If you stop at 10, you just maintained your current strength. But if you push through the pain, if you do rep 11, and rep 12, you have crossed the point of acceleration. Those 2 extra reps are where 100% of the muscle growth actually happens. You didn't just add 20% to your workout, you multiplied your results. This principle applies to every single action in your life. If your boss asks for a standard quarterly report, the average person submits exactly that. They did the 10 reps, but what if you push past the point of acceleration? What if you submit the required report, but you also include an unprompted, visually brilliant predictive analytics dashboard, detailing how to optimize working capital over the next 6 months? You didn't just do a little bit of extra work. You shattered expectations. You proved that your level of commitment is completely untouchable. You multiplied your value to the company. When you hit the wall of exhaustion in a project, or when you feel the resistance of making one more sales call at 5 p.m. on a Friday, do not quit. Recognize that this is the moment of truth. Your competitors are quitting right now. If you make that one extra call, write that one extra page, or do that one extra rep when you are completely exhausted, you capture the true magic of the compound effect. Always do a little bit more than what is expected. The difference between water that is very hot, and water that boils and creates steam enough to power a massive locomotive, is just one single degree. 211 degrees is hot water. 212 degrees is a force of nature. Provide the extra degree. Push past the point of acceleration. When you consistently overdeliver, the universe has no choice but to overdeliver your rewards. Conclusion: the final harvest. You have reached the end of the methodology. Look at the unstoppable psychological machinery you have constructed over these 3 masterclass sessions. You have rejected the microwave mentality. You know the truth of the magic penny, that small, smart choices plus consistency and time yield radical results. You have taken 100% responsibility for your life, tracking your habits in the bright light of awareness, and anchoring your discipline to a massive, emotional Y-power. You survived the agonizing effort of the hand pump well, capturing the incredible multiplier of the big MO. You locked your life into a cage of discipline by bookending your day with elite morning and evening routines, abandoning the burnout of intensity for the unbreakable rhythm of consistency. And you are now protected. You have placed a strict filter on your mind, embracing the law of influences by cutting out toxic associations and seeking out those who demand excellence. You have cleared the friction of your environment. And above all, you know that the true magic happens at the point of acceleration. When the world quits, you will do the extra rep, you will deliver the extra degree. There is no secret formula. There is no magic pill. There is only the work. The choices you made today, the food you ate, the pages you read, the words you spoke to your family, they might seem insignificant right now. But they are compounding. 5 years from today, you will arrive at a destination. The only question is, will it be a destination of your own design, filled with wealth, health, and profound satisfaction? Or will it be a destination of regret, built by unconscious, lazy defaults? Darren Hardy has handed you the exact blueprint used by the most successful human beings to ever walk the earth. The math is guaranteed. The physics are undeniable. Thank you for listening. Please like, share, comment and subscribe the channel.